Close your eyes and imagine dropping a crystal glass. It hits the floor and shatters into 1,000 tiny shards. Now, try to imagine those shards lifting themselves off the ground, reassembling perfectly back into a flawless glass in your hand. Physics says this is impossible. It violates the law of entropy. But the hidden equations of the quantum universe whisper a different story. Hello, welcome to Nightlight Science Stories. Today, we are going to break the most fundamental rule of your existence, the arrow of time. We are taught that the past is solid stone and the future is empty mist. But what if the future is already written and it is quietly pulling you towards it? In our daily experience, cause always comes before effect. You push the domino and it falls. The lightning strikes and then the thunder rolls. But in the subatomic world, this logic dissolves into a strange mist. Particles can communicate across time, knowing their future state before they even begin their journey. This is not science fiction. This is the retrocausality paradox. It suggests that your decisions today might not be entirely free choices, but echoes of an event that hasn't happened yet. Are you pushing the domino, or is the fallen domino in the future waiting for you to push it? Sir Arthur Eddington called time an arrow because it only flies in one direction, towards disorder, towards chaos. But look at the universe around you. It builds complex stars, life and consciousness out of chaos. Something is fighting the arrow. Something is swimming upstream against the river of time. Could it be that time flows in two directions simultaneously? A wave from the past pushing us forward, and a mirrored wave from the future flowing back to meet us. This handshake theory implies that the future is just as real as the past, exerting a gravitational pull on the present moment. If the future affects the past, then destiny is not a mystical concept, but a physical mechanic. Think of a moment where you felt a sudden, inexplicable urge to change your path, saving you from a disaster you couldn't have foreseen. Was that intuition, or was it a memory from a future that you had to avoid? The block universe theory suggests that all of time, past, present, and future exists simultaneously, like a giant frozen block of ice. We are just crawling through it, lighting up one moment at a time with the flashlight of our consciousness. But the ice is already there, waiting in the dark. We are trapped in a linear illusion. Our brains are designed to filter out the future to keep us sane. If we saw the whole block at once, we would freeze. We wouldn't be able to make a choice, because the choice would already be made. We are walking through a maze that is already solved. But experiments like the quantum eraser are scratching at the walls of this prison. They show that observing a particle now can change its history. If we can rewrite the history of an atom with a simple choice, can we rewrite the history of a soul? The implications are terrifying and beautiful. Consider your own memories. They are imperfect, fading records of the past. But sometimes you experience a déjà vu, a feeling that you have lived this exact moment before. Is this a glitch in the brain's matrix or a momentary leak from the future? In a retrocausal universe, information can leak backward. Your future self might be sending ripples through the timeline, guiding you through the chaos. You are not walking blindly into the dark. You are being guided by a version of you that has already survived the night. The greatest physicists, from Einstein to Wheeler, struggled with this concept. Einstein called the distinction between past, present, and future stubbornly persistent illusion. If the separation is an illusion, then death is not an end, but merely a coordinate change. We are like characters in a movie reel. Just because the frame hasn't passed through the projector yet, doesn't mean the scene doesn't exist. The end of the movie is physically sitting on the reel, right next to the beginning, waiting to be seen. This changes everything about how we view responsibility. If the future influences the present, then we are collaborators with our destiny. We are building the bridge while standing on it, but the blueprints are coming from the other side of the river. The anxiety you feel about the future might not be fear of the unknown. It might be the pressure of the known, pressing against the subconscious mind, the weight of events that are waiting for you to arrive. We are about to dive deeper into the experiment that broke physics, the delayed choice quantum eraser. It sounds technical, but it is the smoking gun of retrocausality. It proves that a choice made now can decide what happened yesterday. Imagine a universe where you can heal a wound before you get cut, or solve a problem before it occurs. This is the promise and the paradox of the retrocausal mind. We are learning to read the time backwards. As we stand here at the edge of linear time, ask yourself, who is really listening to this story? Is it the you of the present, or the you who needed to hear this to understand what comes next? The loop is closing. The beginning is the end. The arrow of time may be broken, but the journey is just beginning. We are not just travelers. We are the road, the destination, and the map, all existing in a single frozen moment of eternal now. This brings us to the edge of the known world, where the rules of cause and effect shatter completely. The delayed choice quantum eraser is not just a theory on a chalkboard. It is a repeatable experiment that has been performed in laboratories since 1999. It forces us to confront a possibility that terrified Einstein, that the future can reach back and rewrite the past. In this experiment, photons, particles of light, are fired towards a barrier. They are given a choice. But the twist is that we, the observers, also have a choice. We can decide to measure which path they took, or we can decide to ignore it. The problem is, we make our decision after the particle has already hit the wall. To understand why this is impossible, remember the double slit. When unobserved, light behaves like a wave, creating an interference pattern. When observed, it freezes into a particle, acting like a solid bullet. The universe seems to know when we are watching, but the eraser experiment adds a time delay. We trick the photon. We let it pass through the slits, complete its journey, and then we decide whether to look at the data or destroy it. Logic dictates that the particle's history is already written. It either went left or right. A decision made in the future shouldn't be able to touch a history that is already dead. Yet, the impossible happens. If we choose to erase the path information in the present, the data from the past changes. The particle, which should have behaved like a solid bullet, retroactively behaves like a wave. It is as if our current choice reached back in time and told the particle, "No one is looking, you can be a wave." This implies that the photon didn't commit to a reality until the loop was closed in the future. It existed in a state of suspended history, a ghost waiting for a signal from tomorrow to tell it what it did yesterday. The past is not a fixed recording. It is a fluid equation. How can a subatomic particle know what you will decide to do nanoseconds later? This suggests that the future is not just an open void of possibilities, but an active participant in the structure of the present. The path appears only because we are eventually going to walk on it. We tend to view time as a train ride. We leave the past behind at the station. But this experiment suggests The tracks are being laid down in front of us and behind us simultaneously, depending on where the train is heading. The destination is influencing the journey. Now scale this up. Your brain is a wet quantum computer. Inside the warm, wet, chaotic environment of your neurons, quantum effects like coherence might be playing a role in consciousness. If a photon can wait for a future signal, can a thought? This brings us to the terrifying concept of retrocausal intuition. Perhaps those sudden gut feelings that warn you of danger are not evolutionary instincts, but information leaking from a future where a disaster already happened. You are remembering a pain you haven't felt yet. The crucial element here is information. The universe seems less concerned with physical matter and more obsessed with data. If information about the which path is available, reality collapses one way. If it is erased, it collapses another way. Reality, then, is not a solid stage. It is a dynamic simulation that renders only what is absolutely necessary based on what is being observed. We are not watching a pre-recorded movie. We are in a video game where the map renders as we look at it, and sometimes it re-renders the path behind us still. We build our identity on our memories. We say, I am this way because this happened to me. But if the past is malleable, then your narrative is shaky. The quantum eraser suggests we are constantly molding both the past and the future with every present observation. You might be editing your own history right now. Every time you recall a memory, you change it slightly. In a retrocausal framework, this isn't just a psychological trick. It's a physical editing of the timeline. The you of yesterday is at the mercy of the you of today. The philosophical implications destroy the concept of linear causality. If the effect can precede the cause, then we are living in a loop. The ending can write the beginning. We are not just pushing the dominoes. The final fallen domino is pulling the first one down. This creates a paradox of responsibility. Are you making choices, or are you fulfilling a script written by your future self? Perhaps the anxiety you feel is just the friction of the timeline correcting itself, ensuring you arrive exactly where you need to be. This leads us back to the block universe. If the past, present, and future exist together in a timeless block, then the erasure isn't changing anything. It is simply revealing a different slice of the pre-existing structure. The blurriness of the quantum world is just our inability to see the whole code at once. We are trapped in the now, experiencing a distorted, low-resolution view of a timeless, completed reality. The glitch is in our perception, not in the universe. The quantum eraser leaves us standing outside a locked door. We can see the light coming through the keyhole, proving that there is something on the other side, a future that is bright, real, and active. But we cannot open the door without collapsing the wave. As we move deeper into this paradox, we must ask, if the future is already pulling the strings, is there any room for free will? Or is free will just the sensation of the playback head moving across the tape? The light from the future is blinding, and we are just beginning to open our eyes. If the quantum eraser tells us that the future is real enough to touch the past, then we must accept a radical new map of reality. Physicists call this the block universe. Imagine the entire history of the universe, from the Big Bang to the final death of the last star, not as a flowing river, but as a solid frozen block of ice. In this block, every moment that has ever happened and every moment that will ever happen exists simultaneously. The dinosaurs are still breathing in their slice of the block. You are being born in another slice, and your death is already sitting there, waiting, just as solid as your birth. Nothing is moving. Nothing is changing. Think of a movie reel. When you hold the reel in your hands, the beginning, the middle, and the end are all physically present at the same time. The character in the movie doesn't know the ending, but the reel does. We are trapped inside the frames, experiencing the illusion of flow simply because our consciousness is crawling through the reel frame by frame. This is eternalism. It suggests that now is not a special place. It is just a coordinate. Just as here is where you are in space, now is just where you are in time. But other times are just as real as other places. The future is not a void. It is a territory you haven't visited yet. If the block is frozen, why do we feel the passage of time? Hermann Weyl, a colleague of Einstein, famously said, "The objective world simply is. It does not happen. Only to the gaze of my consciousness, crawling upward along the lifeline of my body, does a section of this world come to life." Your consciousness is a spotlight in a dark room. The room is fully furnished, but you only see what the light touches. You think the furniture appears when you look at it, but it was there in the dark the whole time. We are discovering the future, not creating it. Einstein revolutionized this with special relativity. He showed that two observers moving at different speeds will slice the bread of space-time at different angles. What is now for you might be the past for someone moving near the speed of light, and the future for someone else. If observers cannot agree on what now is, then there is no universal present. There is only the whole loaf. This destroys the idea that the future is unwritten. If an alien spaceship moving towards Earth defines your tomorrow as their today, then your tomorrow must already exist. This brings us back to the retrocausal loop. If the future already exists in the block, then it makes perfect sense that it can influence the past. The grooves of the record are already cut. The end of the song dictates the structure of the beginning. The melody is a single unified architecture. We often ask, can I change my future? In a block universe, this question is flawed. You are part of the block. Your struggles, your choices, and your changes are all frozen in the crystal structure. You are not the writer of the story. You are the reader. But this feels claustrophobic. It feels like a prison of fate. If the explosion is already frozen in the block, why try to stop it? The paradox is that your trying is also part of the block. You cannot sit back and watch, because your actions are the very threads that weave the block together. The block universe doesn't negate cause and effect. It solidifies it. The future you are moving towards is the result of the choices you are making now. But those choices are fixed in the four-dimensional map. You are free to do what you want, but you will want what you are destined to do. To understand this better, imagine we are 2D creatures living on a sheet of paper. We can only see lines. If a 3D sphere passes through our paper, we see a circle that grows and shrinks. We call it time and change, but the sphere itself never changed. It was always a whole object. We are trapped in 3 dimensions, perceiving the 4th dimension, time as change. But from a higher perspective, perhaps the perspective of the universe itself, our entire lives are just a single static, complex geometric shape. A snake of events stretching from birth to death. When you are in the maze, you are lost. You make left turns and right turns, fearing dead ends. But from above, the path is clear. Retrocausality suggests that there is a part of us, maybe a quantum part, that has the view from above. That gut feeling to turn left instead of right might be the higher dimensional you looking at the map. It's not magic. It's geometry. The information from the exit of the maze is radiating backwards through the corridors to find you at the entrance. The implications for the self are profound. If you are a four-dimensional object, then you are not just the person you are in the second. You are the baby, the adult, and the corpse all at once. You are a long worm-like structure stretching through space-time. We feel small and temporary because we only identify with the thin slice of the now. But if you could identify with the whole block, you would realize that you are eternal. No part of the block ever vanishes. It just sits at a different coordinate. So the retrocausal paradox is not really a paradox. It is simply the grammar of a language we haven't learned to read yet. The future affects the past because they are holding hands in the dark. They are connected by the rigid structure of the block. As we stand in this frozen cathedral of time, a new question arises. If the script is already written, is there only one script? Or are there infinite blocks floating in the void? We are about to step out of the single timeline and into the many worlds. But what if the block universe is not a single lonely ice cube floating in the void? In 1957, physicist Hugh Everett proposed a solution to the quantum riddle that was so radical it was ignored for decades. He suggested that the universe doesn't choose one path. It chooses all of them. This is the many worlds interpretation. It implies that reality is not a single line, but a branching tree. Every time a quantum event has multiple possible outcomes, all of them happen. The universe literally splits in two. In one branch, the atom decays. In the other, it doesn't, and you go long for the right in both. If this is true, then retrocausality takes on a new, dizzying meaning. When you make a decision, or when an observation erases the past, you aren't changing a single timeline. You are navigating through an infinite library of already existing timelines. You are selecting a history. The past is not being rewritten. It is being swapped. Like a train switching tracks, your consciousness slides from a universe where you went left into a universe where you went right. The other, you still exists, trapped in the path not taken. This solves the paradox of the grandfather. If you travel back and kill your grandfather, you don't cease to exist. You simply create a new branch, a new timeline where you were never born. But the timeline you came from remains intact, frozen in its own crystal block. We are constantly branching. Every heartbeat, every firing neuron, every photon hitting your retina creates a schism in reality. We are leaving a wake of ghost universes behind us, filled with the shadows of the choices we didn't make. Consider the quantum eraser again. When we choose to erase information, we might just be tuning our consciousness to a specific frequency of the multiverse. We are aligning ourselves with the branch where the interference pattern exists. We are not creators of reality, we are tuners. Like a radio, we pick up the signal of one specific station out of the white noise of infinity. The other stations are playing their songs right now in the same room, but we are deaf to them. This leads to the concept of quantum immortality. If your consciousness always follows the path where you survive to observe the next moment, then from your own subjective perspective, you might never experience the final end. The branch where you die goes dark, but the branch where you survive continues. You might be the only observer left in your own personal universe, while in millions of parallel worlds, your funeral has already happened. We are walking through a graveyard of our own alternate selves, oblivious to the deaths we have narrowly avoided. Déjà vu might be the static noise between these branches. When two timelines are very similar, they might vibrate close to each other. That feeling of familiarity is a momentary crosstalk, a bleed-through from a version of you that is walking just an inch away in the fifth dimension. We feel lonely in our heads, but we are never truly alone. We are surrounded by a swarm of ourselves, a chorus of voices singing slightly different songs. The retrocausal paradox suggests that the future you guiding you might just be a you from a successful neighboring branch. But if all paths exist, does choice matter? Yes, because you experience the path you focus on. The observer effect is the steering wheel. Your attention is the energy that collapses the wave function into a single experienced reality. You are navigating the multiverse with your focus. Fear tunes you into the branches of danger. Gratitude tunes you into the branches of abundance. It is not magic. It is the physics of resonance. You are coupling your timeline with the frequency of your thoughts. The universe is efficient. It doesn't waste data. The information from the future that leaks back to us in the erasure experiment is a sign that the structure is rigid. The branches are already grown. We are just sap climbing the tree. We struggle against the flow, trying to force outcomes. But in a many worlds model, the outcome is already there. The struggle is simply the friction of moving from one branch to another. The path of least resistance is often the path your higher self has already paved. As we move deeper, the boundaries of the self begin to dissolve completely. You are not a noun, you are a verb. You are a process spreading across the multiverse. The you in this room is just one facet of a multi-dimensional diamond. The retrocausal signals are the reflections of light bouncing inside this diamond. The future is illuminating the past, and the past is shaping the future in an eternal dance of light and shadow. We have looked at the frozen block, and we have looked at the branching tree, but there is one final layer to this paradox. If the future can affect the past, and if all futures exist, then who is doing the choosing? Is there a pilot in the machine? We are approaching the center of the labyrinth, the place where physics meets consciousness, and where the observer finally turns the camera around to look at itself. The code is about to reveal its author. If the universe is a branching tree of infinite possibilities, what determines which branch becomes real? Physics gives us a haunting answer: the observer. In the quantum world, a particle does not have a defined location until it is measured. It is a ghost until you look at it. This suggests that consciousness is not just a byproduct of the universe. It is the engine that drives it. We are not passive passengers watching the scenery go by. We are the projectors. The retrocausal signals we detect might simply be the beam of our own attention bouncing back from the future. John Wheeler, the physicist who coined the term black hole, proposed the participatory universe. He believed that by asking a question, we create the answer. The universe does not exist out there independent of us. It exists because we are here to interrogate it. In a retrocausal sense, the question you ask today shapes the history that led to the answer. If you ask, "Why am I a victim?" the universe looks back in time and highlights every event that made you a victim. You are literally curating your own past by the nature of your present inquiry. This creates a strange loop. The answer exists before the question, but the question defines the form of the answer. It is a game of cosmic cat's cradle. The you of the future is holding one end of the string, and the you of the past is holding the other. The tension on the string is what we call life. When you set a goal, you are throwing a hook into the future. If that hook lands on a solid reality, it pulls you towards it. The struggle you feel is just a sensation of being reeled in by your own design. The steering wheel of this time machine is attention. In a multiverse where every outcome exists, focus is the act of selecting a channel. When you obsess over a fear, you are collapsing the wave function of your future into the branch where that fear is realized. This is the physics of anxiety. It is a misuse of your retrocausal power. You are using your incredible capacity to observe the future, but you are only looking at the dead ends. You are tuning your quantum radio to the static instead of the music. Conversely, intuition is the ability to focus on the signal from the optimal branch. The version of you that succeeded is transmitting data back to you. That sudden idea, that lucky coincidence, is not luck. It is a handshake across time. You are constantly communicating with your other selves. The regret you feel is simply the data from a failed timeline bleeding into yours. It is a warning marker saying, "Do not go this way." We are navigating a map written in the ink of emotion. The brain may act as a quantum receiver. Theories like Orco-R suggest our neurons have structures that can vibrate in harmony with the geometry of space-time. We are not generating thoughts. We are downloading them from the block universe. This implies that genius is not about processing power. It's about bandwidth. It's the ability to quiet the noise of the present so you can hear the whisper of the future. The solution to the problem is already in the room. You just need to tune into its frequency. The physical world is fragile and malleable. The glass breaks, the body ages, the stars burn out. But the observer, the point of view, seems to be a constant. If the future can rewrite the past, then the timeline itself is fluid, but the one watching it is solid. You are the stillness in the center of the storm. The events of your life are just the movie playing on the screen. The screen can show a tragedy or a comedy, but the screen itself remains white and untouched. You are the screen. As we approach the speed of light, time slows down. For a photon, time does not exist. It arrives at its destination the instant it is born. If consciousness is quantum, then at its core, it is also timeless. The observer lives in the eternal now. The past and future are just different rooms in the same house, and you are standing in the hallway. You can walk into the room of memory or the room of imagination, but you never actually leave the house. This brings us to the ultimate paradox. If the observer creates the universe, but the universe creates the observer, who started the loop? It is the ancient symbol of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. The universe is a self-excited circuit. It needs you to see it so it can exist, and you need it to be seen so you can exist. We are trapped in a beautiful infinite embrace with reality itself. We are not alone in this dark ocean. We are collaborating with our reflection in time. The future is reaching back, offering a hand to pull us forward. The past is pushing us, giving us momentum. The separation is the illusion. The observer, the observed, the past and the future are all different names for the same singular event, and that event is happening right now. We are about to wake up from the dream of separation. We have traveled from the shattered glass of entropy to the frozen architecture of the block universe. We have seen how a single choice in the future can erase the history of the past. But what does this mean for the life you are living right now? It means the script is not linear. It is circular. You are not just walking a straight line from birth to death. You are walking a loop. The you of tomorrow is broadcasting a signal to the you of today. Every ambition, every fear, and every dream is a frequency transmission from a timeline that is trying to manifest itself through you. This changes the definition of memory. We usually think memory is looking backward. But in a retrocausal universe, imagination is actually remembering forward. When you visualize a goal, you aren't just daydreaming. You are accessing the data of a future state that already exists in the block. The intensity of that vision determines the strength of the connection. If you can hold the image of the future clearly in your mind, you are effectively entangling your present self with that specific future reality. You are building a bridge of light over the abyss of chaos. The physics of the quantum eraser taught us that information is key. If you don't look, the wave remains infinite. If you look, it collapses. This is your superpower. By choosing what to observe in your daily life, you are choosing which history to solidify. Do not focus on the broken glass. Focus on the restored whole. The universe is waiting for your command to decide which version of the past is necessary to support the future you are moving towards. You are the editor of the film. We often feel powerless against the flow of time. We feel like debris floating in a river. But the retrocausal paradox reveals that we are the riverbed. We channel the flow. The structure of your consciousness defines the path of the water. If you believe the future is fixed and dark, you create a self-fulfilling loop. But if you realize that the future is an active participant reaching back to help you, the fear vanishes. You are not alone. You are being pulled up by your own higher self. This is the handshake completed. The wave from the past meets the wave from the future, and in the center, they create the interference pattern we call the present. You are that interference pattern. You are the collision point of destiny and history. Your existence is the spark generated by this cosmic friction. To be fully alive is to stand exactly in the center of the handshake, aware of both the origin and the destination, but attached to neither. This is the state of flow. As we approach the end of this hour, the paradox dissolves into a simple truth. Time is a tool, not a master. The linear illusion is designed to let us experience the story one page at a time. But the book is already written, and it is a masterpiece. You don't need to worry about the ending. The ending is already safe in the block. Your only job is to read the current page with as much attention and love as possible. The quality of your attention now determines the clarity of the next page. We are learning to think in 4 dimensions. We are learning that a mistake in the past can be healed by a realization in the future. The timeline is self-correcting. The gold in the cracks is the wisdom gained from the loop. Nothing is ever truly lost. In the many worlds, every possibility plays out. But in this world, the one you are experiencing, you have the power to curate the journey. You are the quantum eraser, and you can choose which paths to delete and which to keep. The arrow of time may fly forward, but the gravity of meaning pulls backward. We are living in the echo of our future achievements. The person you want to become is already there, waiting for you to catch up. Listen to the silence between your thoughts. That is where the retrocausal signal is strongest. It is the quiet voice saying, "Keep going. I am already here." We have looked through the keyhole of the universe. We have seen that reality is a handshake between what was and what will be. The paradox is not a trap, it is a key. Use it to unlock the prison of linear thinking. You are a time traveler. You do it every second of every day. Make your journey count. The future is watching you, and it is smiling. The loop is now complete. The beginning meets the end. We have questioned time, broken reality, and found our reflection in the shards. Thank you for walking this infinite loop with Nightlight Science Stories. If this journey shifted your perception of time, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to signal the algorithm for our next paradox. The night is long, but we have many more stories to tell. Until then, keep watching the dark